Hello, and thanks for joining the first edition of Journalist Hangout. This week, I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, Senator Shehu Sani warns against failure of Tinubu-led APC Reconciliation Committee, says the party faces risk of mass defection. And later on the show, stakeholders kick against NNPC's $8.5 billion import bill. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, Emeka Madunagu, and Lekon Shote. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. The 2019 general election may appear a bit far. In reality, it is at the door. Politicians are now more worried about their party's status and strength ahead of the make or mar election. While the All Progressive Congress has begun its permutations, it faces terrible divisions in its ranks. That's from Kano to Kogi, Kaduna, Bauchi, Cross River states are all embroiled in crisis that requires proper reconciliation. Although the committee led by APC's national leader, that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to broker peace seems determined to successfully carry out his assignment. The senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, has predicted doom if he believes Tinubu's appointment is the last penalty kick for the APC. Sani warned that the ruling party could experience mass defection if Tinubu's reconciliation committee fails. Is he not crying wolf? Judy, I know when they say it's better late than never, when President Muhammadu Buhari directly appointed Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to carry on this reconciliation in the party, as at that time, I don't know what the party was doing, because as at that time, the party has been fractured in Kano. I know that Senator Kwakwanso and Governor Abdullahi Ganduje don't see eye to eye. El-Rufai and all his senators, if I want to say, I don't know, maybe any of the sitting senator in the 3 senatorial districts in Kaduna State is at peace with El-Rufai. I don't know, but I know for sure that 2 of them, led by Shehu Sani, the other one is PDP, and so naturally, by default, they might not be in good terms. But what we're trying to say here is what led to Ekwuremadu's outburst last week. You know, all is not well with the all the instances he cited wasn't PDP. They weren't PDP states. They were majorly APC states. So it was after that reconciliation committee was set up. That is when the party started troubleshooting. Say, okay, we send far-fighting mission to this state, to that state. But before that time, nobody deemed it fit. Yaya Bello and James Abiodun Faleke, I've not seen them together in a long time. I've never even seen them together. Yaya Bello and Senator Dino Melaye, in a long while, they've not been together. So this committee, some people, they've termed it, my friend Shaka Momodu, he said Tinubu's mission impossible. From what you have seen in the APC today, how easy is going to be, is Bola Tinubu's work going to be?
Oh, it's a very tough job that they are giving him. But clearly, there's no better person that you can give that kind of assignment to, because Tinubu's influence cuts across political parties. I was with a governor, a PDP governor, some time ago, and Tinubu was stepping out of the villa when he visited the president. And that PDP governor said, oh, that's my leader. And I was kind of taken aback. You are calling the national leader of the APC your leader? He said, yes, that's my leader. So because the man has tremendous favor across the country, tremendous goodwill, I meant to say, across the country. He has influence he has goodwill. People, the difficult problems are problems that Tinubu solves easily. So when you look around, it will be difficult for you to find someone who commands the kind of respect that he commands within the APC to give that kind of job to. Tinubu and the first chairman of the party, Baba Konde, they are people that you can trust, and you can see that the president respects them a lot. Always sending for them. You know, so the president should have appointed Baba Konde as a kind of political advisor at large, because these problems, in my view, had been left to degenerate. If you had a Baba Konde with you, because he will tell you the truth, and it's not the sort of national chairman that people will accuse of going to take money from little boys and all that. No, you cannot accuse that old man of that.
Integrity.
He has integrity, he has discipline. So those are the kind of people who will look into your eyes and tell you the truth. So now, in my view, if the president asked me, I would suggest that he made Baba Konde his political advisor at large, which means that he doesn't have to be resident in Aso Rock, but at any time when he needs
honorary.
him, because he's an old man, so at any time that he needs him, he has to realize that this is an assignment that the president has given him, because there are problems to be solved. Now, back to Asiwaju, it took too long before the president realized the need to bring Asiwaju on board to solve these problems. We had been talking about some of these problems for so long that in at least 10 states, APC is fractured, and that these problems needed to be solved. You can see that the PDP, they are taunting the APC that if they have, that if they think they are confident, they should go ahead and organize a convention. They've been saying it that we dare you to organize a convention. Because they know that the house is divided. You don't go with a house that divided, you don't go into a convention. So that is the thing. The job they have given Asiwaju is a very difficult one. But we must encourage him to give his best. Honestly, I look at some situations you cannot resolve some people. You look at like the Kano situation, for example. 17 times attempts were made to reconcile both the governor and Ganduje. I mean, Ganduje and Kwankwaso. The governor.
17 times.
17 times. And all 17 times, those who were trying to reconcile them failed. On one occasion, the emir of Kano called both men. Kwankwaso walked out on the emir. Northern governors in Kaduna, they called them Yari, Erufai, all of them. They said, see, both of you go into that room. You are friends. You know each other. We just go into that room and just resolve your differences. We've not been with you all the years. You've been together all the years. Just go into that room and come and tell us that the matter has been resolved. Kwankwaso looked at them and walked out on them. And you heard what he said about Ganduje's daughter that was trending throughout last week. You know? That the sort of money that was spent on that marriage, that he was spending it to
mass wedding,
to organize mass wedding for divorcees. And he said that the daughter of Ganduje was a divorcee. How do someone who wants to be president saying such negative things about a young woman? When you become president, you will be president of all. You will be father of all. So I like even the response of the Commissioner for Information in Kano to what he said, because he didn't abuse him. He just told Nigerians to look at the caliber of this man who wants to be a governor. The truth is, Kwankwaso's best chance is to remain in the APC. Now, how Tinubu go, because look, I can tell you that
I
even
wanted
in
to
the
tell you
APC,
that we'll still go to the nitty-gritty of that kind of problem.
Okay.
We'll come back to the nitty-gritty. Lekon Shote, been engaging you here. Shehu Sani is saying there's this palpable fear of mass defection. And when you want to look at that mass defection, you will see senators in the National Assembly working against their political party. And there are some, it's obvious that they might not pick the ticket of their party because the ticket is going to be, a sole responsibility of their state governor to distribute. Forget primaries or parties going to conduct. We know the people that they... So, like Dino now, let's say Dino wants to go back to the Senate. Do you see a Yaya Bello? And there's no election, there's no governorship election in 2019 in Kogi State. Right. Do you see a Yaya Bello giving the party tickets to go?
Considering that the APC has said that no state executive can sack any member of the party. Remember, Madam Balaji Abdullahi said that about 2 weeks or so ago, which also happens in Lagos State when there were efforts to remove
Dr. Moise Bamire.
The state government, the national executive also said, no, you can't do that. Well, you recall also that those 10 senators that were said to have worked out on their colleagues, their leader suffered a setback. And even one of them went back and said, I'm sorry, I don't, there's no doubt that APC is a divided house. You also know, Ayo, that APC is a conglomerate of different intentions, different tendencies, even from what you call the legacy parties, came with different intentions. Each group came, an individual came. And in any case, as Chief Awolowo once said, he said, political parties are founded to advance private interests. So these individuals, many of them have joined APC, not because they loved Asiwaju Bola Tinubu or because they loved Buhari, or they just saw a vehicle that could take them to destination. And they just joined.
Not because of ideology.
No. If you recall, Donald Duke once said that on TV, on TVC, sometime about 2 years ago, that there are no political parties in Nigeria, only political platforms. And so that is what is happening. And so they know. And then what has happened is that what looks like the president's abandonment of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu made a lot of people to gravitate towards the chairman, who, if you recall, you always see him in Aso Rock. So it looked like he was in the good books, holding court with the president. And people figured that if they can just align with him, it will help, including the governors, especially governors who are thinking of a second
time in office.
A second time in office, or at least thinking of bringing somebody to succeed them in office. Yes, so they felt they would play the game. You recall, even the governor of Kogi State, who is not going to stand election next year, actually was saying that we are on the side of the chairman of the party, when Tinubu wrote a letter to the president about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that tells you that those who have the money to spend, those are the governors. As you know, they call them leaders in their various states, will determine who gets what, those tickets. And that some of them who are even going to end their terms want to be senators. And they want to do as much as possible to demobilize those who are already holding those positions in their states. So it's, as far as I'm concerned, each person is looking for what he will gain out of all this.
Emeka, do you think this APC faces a kind of implosion from the way you've seen it, or they'll be strong and they'll come together before the election and they'll get over this turbulence?
I think the only thing that can save APC is maybe if they suffer a huge defeat in 2019, then they will now...
If they suffer the defeat?
If they suffer a huge defeat, yeah, I'll come to that, I'll explain it. They suffer a huge defeat like PDP, the way PDP was trounced in 2015, and then they came to the reality that what they mean is we've been on an overdose of power. So, but suddenly it has slipped out of our hands. What happened? So, because you look at it right now, you don't see any semblance of a political party. There's no political party. In fact, you still have the APC, AMPP, ACN, and CPC tendencies playing out very, very clearly. Yes, the president asked Asiwaju Tinubu, go and reconcile the party, but I was surprised. It was in the State House that the president met with Asiwaju Tinubu and said, I'm giving you this assignment. But I was surprised some weeks later, or was it some days later, in the same State House, the governor of Kogi, Bello, Yaya Bello, was saying, we stand by our party chairman. So I was now wondering, where does President Buhari stand in all this? Because he is the father figure of the party. And I think that statement by Bello didn't help
Bola
matters.
Tinubu doesn't want to become the national chairman of the
No,
party.
it's not about, no,
He's saying
what I'm
somebody
saying
is disturbing his job. That's why he wrote that letter.
That even strengthens my point, that there was no need for Bello to have come to make that statement that we stand by a chairman, because there was no contest. You just said it.
No, that was not just. It was explaining
isolation. It
No,
was
it was explaining why they decided to let the ESCO continue.
No. It's
No,
not
it
just
was in
it's not
response
just
to that letter.
It was a
that,
response to a
Tinubu
letter
wrote
that
to the
Tinubu wrote to
president
Oyego,
complaining
where he
that
said
Oyego was,
that
interfering.
we, the governors, that we stand by our national chairman. And I said, Tinubu is not running for national chairmanship of this party. What is the contest? He has only been given an assignment to reconcile, feuding members of the party. Why is a governor coming out to make this kind of statement? So, and you even find out that even within a few days, a few days after the president gave Tinubu this assignment, you saw what El-Rufai did in Kaduna. You see what is happening all over. So it's as if maybe the APC leaders themselves don't even want the assignment to succeed from the word go. Because you know that this man is going to come to your state. He has been to Sokoto State. He went to Sokoto State and they received him warmly, quietly. He brought Wamako, he brought Tambuwal together. They met, quietly, laughed, backslapped and all that. For the man to even step to another state, look at what El-Rufai did. Look at in all the states. Look at how people are fighting here and there. So you now wonder that, there is an African proverb that elders don't stay in the house, and allow a pregnant goat to give birth on the leash. Now, these elders are not even bothered about the goat. They don't even mind.
They've
even tied the legs of the goat so that the goat can even die on the leash. So, where does that leave a party? Because if they go into the 2019 elections and they win, I don't see APC surviving.
All right, Babajide, why is this party so divided?
It's clear that selfish interest is at the root of all of this. Senator Sani said something. You can accuse the senator of the bushy hair, you can abuse him all you want, but he says the truth. There's no doubt about it. The truth may sometimes be unpalatable. He said that we need to put our ambitions aside and save the party from imminent death. The selfishness of individuals explain why the party is so divided at this point. Because if you want the party, we talked about what El-Rufai did. El-Rufai never believes that it's wrong.
At all.
You cannot want the growth of your party and be doing things that will make matters even more difficult for those who are trying to reconcile the party and bring the party back as one. Because you go around these people. And I think also that some of the mistakes that the PDP made, the PDP turned governors to monsters.
Yeah.
Now,
That was in 2003.
now governors in the APC are gradually becoming bigger monsters than the monsters that we saw in the PDP of old. Because today's PDP is a little different from the PDP of old. Whether we like it or not, they've realized some of the mistakes that they made back then. That impunity that reigned while the PDP reigned we've seen impunity develop two strong legs in the APC currently. Governors have already made up their minds, oh, these ones, we will not give them a ticket. Oh, these ones.
Somebody
and the
said
party
his political career of a senator is finished.
It's finished before even the primaries begin. Now, and the party has a constitution. The constitution of the party should be superior to the ambition or the desires of anyone. But we are a governor, no matter how lightweight, how physically lightweight he is, thinks that is bigger than everyone in the party, in the state, sees himself as God. There's no way that there won't be crisis. If you look at, and you see clearly the constitution of the party being trampled upon, even by governors who should know the right thing. You see the constitution of the APC being trampled upon by the man who is supposed to be the national chairman of the party, who has shown no appetite to resolve crisis in any part of the country where we have crisis. No appetite at all. All that Oyegun can do is to, in fact, worsen the crisis. I will give the example of Adamawa State. Why do we have a crisis in Adamawa now? Because the crisis in Adamawa, I've seen it a long time ago. You know, when I traveled to Adamawa in January 2016, I said it that if the APC is not careful, the party will lose Adamawa State. Because we have a governor who came to power using Baba Memangoro's structures, Muritala and Yako's structures. With Muritala and Yako's supporters and structures, he defeated Abubakar Atiku's candidate twice in the primaries. In fact, the second primary, he defeated with a wider margin. The moment he got there, he started treating Baba Memangoro shabby. And he even instigated the Lamido of Adamawa to remove both Baba Memangoro and his son, Abdulaziz, as title chiefs. This is a Lamido that Murtala Yako installed, though. You got that man removed. How do you want his supporters to feel? Now, the constitution of the APC says when you as chairman of the party, when you take up an appointment, maybe you win an elective position, the person who's next to you should take over. In Kaduna, it happened. Bantex moved on to become deputy governor. Mayor Ewada was not allowed to step in because the governor preferred someone else. But they will not look at what the constitution says.
This call from Tijani. Tijani is calling us from Kaduna State. Thank you for joining us, Tijani.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Ayo.
Good evening, Tijani.
I called to commend you guys for a good job that you are doing. Then I want to ask Mr. Jide a question. Why he is always believing Gonduje against Konkoso in their rift with Konkoso? Why is he so sentimental and biased? Because
well, you are entitled to your own opinion, Tijani. Thank you, Tijani. It's all about saying their opinion here, and it's whatever we want to say. These are journalists; they say their own opinion, and it's not. You can't say.
I've said it here that I'm asked my opinion. If they ask him a question, it's his opinion that it's not the opinion of his wife.
You said the man walked out on people how many times?
They want me to praise. You see the truth. Nigerians have two versions of the truth. The truth that is palatable to them and the one that is not palatable to them. The one that's palatable to them, when you say it, they hail you. Babajide, Kaiko Kari. If you say the one that is not palatable to them, they say you are biased. They say you are this. They say you are that. But you see, though I'm asked my opinion on this program, my own personal opinion, not the opinion of my family. When I come around this table, I say what comes from my heart.
No, but even
on this one,
what happened?
In spite of that, I even still try to say, look, this is what is happening. Now, a former governor goes to abuse the daughter of a governor who got wedded.
Who is not even a politician.
Did what Kwankwaso do? I mean, was it right?
Yes.
Was it right? Every sensible person has said, look, I mean, as an old man, you can't be abusing this small girl.
Who is not even a politician, she's not...
People are happy that from the north and the west, we are marrying one another, and you are trying to pour sand on that good event.
On her image, on her integrity.
So, but this is a distraction. People come in sometimes, you know, you won't.
We
will just move on. You know, they come in, they will make it look like they want to give a honest listen, and praise us, but they will come and be abusing us. We are used to it, but we'll go back. The truth is by nature, bitter to people. We'll go on to say it, whether Tijani likes it or not.
All right.
We know. I was
before the call came, you were making a point.
And I said, look, once Bantex moved on, became deputy governor of the state, the man next to him, that's the vice chairman in the state, by the constitution of the APC should have become acting chairman. In Adama, but El-Rufai does not like that he prefers someone else and said, no, this one can't be acting. But the party has a constitution. So in resolving these issues, Asiwaju has to be seen to be even-handed. He has to look at what the constitution says. When you go to a state like Adamawa, where the governor has succeeded in making supporters of the most popular politician in Adamawa State today, is still Muritala Yako. He has succeeded in making Yako's supporters his enemy. Now, when you go there, what happened? Binta Mashi, a senator, was chairman of the party, elected in 2014. She moved on. Then the deputy became acting chairman. Unfortunately, the deputy died. What did the APC do? Led by Baba Oyegun. They went and brought a local government chairman from Michika and made him chairman. Meanwhile, there are zonal chairmen. There are 3 zonal chairmen. They could have chosen one of them. They went outside the ESCO, outside the dictates of the party, went and plugged a local government chairman from the governor's zone. So what we have in Adamawa today is secretary of the party, chairman of the party, the governor. Everybody, all 3, they are Muslims. And people are saying, look, this is wrong. And from the same zone as the governor. It cannot work. So in solving this problem, they must first go and look at where have these people even contravened the party constitution. And because you must achieve fairness before you can truly resolve disputes.
Lekon, when you look at, okay, let me quickly take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more on this. Just stay with us. It's still Journalist Hangout. I'll be right back after this breather. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Well, this is Journalist Hangout, your groundbreaking program of the year. We're reaching you live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria, and we are looking at the intra-party crisis within the All Progressive Congress. Now, the People's Democratic Party, they had what they call their own family affair during their time. Anytime they had crisis within the party that time, the regular cliche is it's a family affair, and they look for a way to make sure it doesn't generate. There seems to be this very potent...
Until 2013 when...
Yes, potent internal crisis resolution mechanism. Yes, because maybe from the presidency, somebody is always winning the big stick, especially during the time of Olusegun Obasanjo. Yeah. But it's not applicable to the APC now. They are dagger drones, and they can't... the president is not in his nature to...
It's not taking firm grip of
yes, the party. That, okay, why I'm the president, and at the same time I want to annex the party.
Ayo, let me take you back to June 9, 2015, when the president made a very vital, terrible mistake in not showing enough interest in what happened in the National Assembly. The election of the officers of the National Assembly. That was the beginning of the loss of initiative by the president. Unfortunately, his ill health also contributed to his being laid back. And he seems to, it's almost like a religion for him to be laid back and be aloof from things happening around him. And then, all of a sudden, when it looks like something is going to happen, like he's now visiting states where the headsmen had perpetrated so much horror and death, suddenly wakes and starts visiting those states now. He leaves a lot of things for too long, just as Jide observed earlier on. He leaves a lot of things before he begins. It's almost too late for him to now begin to. Let me say something to you that a lot of the people in the APC actually thought that Asiwaju has expired within the party. It is now that they now feel that, okay, maybe he has some potency, and that is why the president has brought him in now. The president is not going to give largesse to people, as you observed.
The way of resolving crisis.
Yes. You know,
take your own, take your own.
Yes, and then the president is also not going to do like former Chief Obasanjo, who will railroad people, steamroll people, even at the state level, and say it's a do or die affair. You understand? He is not going to do things like, even in Katsina State, his own state, do you hear of anything? No, he's aloof completely. And so
that's the word.
And that leaves members of the party to their own intentions.
Which is dangerous.
Which is dangerous. Pretty much. I think I just said it earlier on. When I said 2 weeks ago, the president was saying that members, the APC should please ensure that anybody who is aspiring for any position should go through the normal mill. We should not have less than a week after that, the chairman and his group were told they have 1 year extension. What is that supposed to mean? Does it then mean that governors who are probably aspiring to second term now, somebody will just say, after all, the chairman of this party, the EXCO, is got extension. Yeah. Why can't we get extension? Yeah. So people are left to their own.
Emeka, when you look at the executive of the party, because it's like the engine room of the party. Yeah. Since November now, the PDP, since December now, they've chosen Uche Secondus, and the PDP is trying to recalibrate after that losing that 2015 election. Yeah. Now, but when you want to look at Oyegun-led EXCO in the last 3 or 4 years, have they given leadership to this party to the extent that the party is now immersed in this serious crisis? Forget the fact that they won that election.
Let me tell you one interesting thing. When I saw the clips of the meeting where they renewed Oyegun's tenure, if I was an APC member, I would have broken down in tears. You know why? The president was sitting right there, and the party could not come to terms to say, let us hold a national convention and do things the proper way.
According to the
president was there, the vice president was there, and it was like maybe they were just conscripted, set on their chairs. And you're talking of the ruling party.
This is that particular meeting.
Yes. You're talking of, you're talking of the ruling party. And these governors, party elders and leaders cannot put their personal interests aside. And say, okay, in the interest of this man whose name we drop everywhere, in the interest of Buhari, let us set aside our personal interests and hold a national convention. If we're going to renew Oyegun's tenure, let's do even for the sake of the president. But you hear governors say, we will do our best to make sure Buhari gets a second term. We will do this and that. We will move this, we will move this. But you cannot come together to honor the man by doing the right thing.
To respect what the man himself said.
What are you now doing? What are you now doing? What you are doing is that you are making a mockery. You are praising the man in the open, but behind, you're mocking him. And let me tell you, these are the same people that will work against. They are working against the party and will continue to work against the party. Just like it happened in PDP. Until it was happening surreptitiously until it now blew open November 2013. So one thing is that it's really, really unfortunate that the Oyegun executive has been there. I think 4 years now, and could not build enough influence to ensure an automatic renewal of their term. So it even tells you how strong they are. So if you remove the name Muhammadu Buhari from APC,
honestly,
so what's happening?
I thought about it.
And the other thing I want to add is this, like Jide said earlier, you know, yes, he said something about people's physical appearance, but I want to tell you, there are people who are political lightweights, and yet they want to rub shoulders with Asiwaju Tinubu. All because they can drop the name Muhammadu Buhari. Exactly. Remove that name Muhammadu Buhari. These people are non-entities. Yes. Senator Adeshayo Ogunlewe was talking about it on a TV program recently. He said a lot of these people, without Buhari's name, they are non-entities. Yes. There are some of them. There are some of them, lawmakers that have been chased away from their constituencies. Some of them cannot go to their constituencies. They can't go to their constituencies. So these people are the main problem of APC. So if APC thinks it has people in the executive or in the legislature, then I think the party is...
Okay, but Babajina, let's talk about your former states. So, okay, at least I'm putting it
appropriate, putting it appropriately.
And Adamawa State, do you think Tinubu will be able to resolve the crisis? And let's do Kogi first, because we know that Kogi is another. They've attempted to even recall a sitting senator, and that attempt has been
use the judiciary to
frustrate the attempt. So ever since that time, the senator is now a whistleblower. Immediately, he blew the whistle against the importation, and the governor felt that, oh, that means we have a kind of leaking cabinet.
But does he stay in his state? Does he sit in his state?
He dissolved it and reappointed.
Does he sit in his state?
Kogi is on account of Abelo's actions and inactions. If an election is held in Kogi today, the APC will lose. There's no miracle by which they can win, except they are ready to kill as many people as possible. On account of Yabelo's actions and inactions. If an election is held today in Kogi State, I repeat, the APC will lose. And it's also partly because when he got into office, he was busy rewarding non-APC members. You know, he was not in their party when the selfish people from Villa imposed him on the state. He had left the party in anger. He took the man who won the primaries to court. The matter was in court. He was already making eyes to SDP, and he did not vote on election day for his party. So the truth is, and since that time, no effort. There was a time that we came here, we talked about the fact that no effort had been made to even reconcile Faleke and Yabelo, because Faleke is an inheritor of Abubakar Audu's structures. And the chairman of the party in the state was an Abubakar Audu loyalist. So Yabelo clearly could not work with the chairman of the party, because that one too was criticizing him because he kept going out of the party to give people appointments and all that, and they were not happy. These were the people who make this victory possible. You didn't contribute anything. You know? It's just the people, the powerful people who showed that, okay, we have limitless powers. Let's go and bring this guy to become governor. So no effort had been made. They announced some time ago that, that one retired military man was going to head a reconciliation committee in Kogi State. Nobody ever wrote a letter to Faleke to say, look, this is what we are trying to do. Remember, even when they wanted to make him suddenly become deputy to Yaya, they also didn't contact him. The party said that they were going to have a meeting with both of them. Nobody wrote a letter to him to say, look, this is where the meeting will take place and all that. So for leaving the Kogi matter to degenerate that much, you can be sure. In fact, you don't need an expert better to know what will happen if an election takes place in Kogi today, except the election is massively rigged, except you roll out underage boys to go and vote, except you get soldiers to beat up people and then write votes. Without that, there's no way APC can win in Kogi. In Adamawa, the situation is also similar. All that Asiwaju needs to do, in my view, is to go to Adamawa, look at the constitution of the party, and try to right the wrongs. Then he should call a meeting of Abdulaziz Muritala Yako, Seriki Matasa, and his father. Let them meet with the governor, and then the matter should be resolved amicably. The acting chairman of the party announcing that there is no vacancy. You can imagine party leaders saying no vacancy. That means if you do a primary today, they are going to rig it. That means they will rig it for the governor. So, and people don't want that. So, resolve that by looking at the situation on ground. Get all of them, and then you can actually resolve the matter in Adamawa. In the case of Kano, if Asiwaju asks me for my view, you know what I would expect him to do. Because he would not be able to reconcile Kwankwaso and Ganduje. I said it a long time ago that Kwankwaso does not forgive. I'm not lying against him. God is watching me. That's his nature. It's just, and it's not the only one. There are many Nigerians like that. Politically, they don't forgive you. If it is 20 years, they will wait and they will exact revenge. Obasanjo does that a lot. So it's not that you can actually do very good psychoanalysis of people if you've been watching them over the years.
Okay, you were talking about what
now,
I expect.
What I expect Asiwaju to do to help the APC is to go after some people who left the party but are now in maybe PDP or somewhere else. When they were going to form the APC, Shekarau, who remains very strong in Kano, was the one who headed the AMPP, was the chairman of the AMPP committee. Yes. Just like Garuba Giadi represented the CPC, the late Garuba Giadi, former deputy governor of Bauchi State. Now, because of people like Kwankwaso, Shekarau left the party in anger. Somebody who registered the party, he left the party in anger. Asiwaju needs to go back now and try to woo Shekarau back. And
Shekarau still has the political clout in Kano.
What the governor and Kwankwaso, what they are doing is trying to poach Shekarau's people because they know it's still strong. And remember that the convention of the PDP didn't go according to the plan of Shekarau and his people. That's why you find that some of them have even left for the SDP. You know, people like Adenino, they left. They didn't like the way they were treated by some younger boys in the PDP. So if Asiwaju goes for Shekarau and he gets Shekarau back into the APC, they've secured Kano. No doubt.
All right, I have Jack. Jack is calling from Lagos.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Jack.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I thank you, Babajide, for your work.
Thank you, sir. I greet you.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Please, I want to contribute to
Please go ahead.
The matter.
Jack, go ahead.
You are doing the right, you are a good job.
Jack, you are listening to yourself. Just go ahead.
Keep talking. Don't stop. Just keep talking.
Okay.
All right. Looking at it's 11 months to our election. 11 months to our election. And if we're going to have an election in 11 months' time, will this ultimately not affect the one Babajide refers to as the super tanker? Although the visits that we've been seeing lately has shown contrary, will this not affect the fortune of Mr. President when you have states, strategic states like Kano? Kano gave him 1.9 million votes in the last election. You know what that is? Thank God, it was later I now gathered that Katsina actually gave him 2.3 million votes in the last election.
More than Kano.
Yes, more than Kano.
Official,
yes. You know, and then NITEL, INEC register. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was surprised when I saw it.
You remember that after INEC came out with his timetable, some people attempted to change the timetable.
They are still there.
I see on it.
And you know that, I'm sure you know why, they want to change the timetable. Because they don't want, because of the crisis within the party. They are not even sure now that they want to even work for Mr. President. And they are also thinking to themselves that if this man is going to fail, let him fail alone. Because the party is fractious now, personalities will win election. Individuals will win elections on their own. Do you understand? And then, so at the end of the day, if Mr. President does not win, that is tough luck for him.
That's what they think.
And I think that's what they think. And that is the problem that we're having now. Even as Mr. President seems to be visiting people who are victims of headsmen and all that, we know that the man is actually making political tours. It's going for weddings. It's not just for wedding, it's making a point. It's going around talking.
But it's actually still very popular.
Exactly. Somebody has said that Mr. President has 12 million votes sitting down for him.
Is that the same? Is that true now? No, it's okay. It's okay. Let's not preempt.
We've not gotten...
When he was not even in power, when he was losing elections, he was getting...
It was a constant thing.
So how much more now that he is in power? So the 12 million votes, the 12 million votes will have gone to maybe 14 million or even 15.
I can't even, okay, I'm thinking of what will happen in Benue today. I want to see the crowds. I want to see if Mr. President will be giving
that some of those crowds were brought from Abuja.
Where?
I said allegations. I said allegations.
No, can't rule out the fact that
if APC cannot within a state mobilize people to bring the president.
Look, it's beyond that.
Then there's a problem.
What happened in Benue, is an emotive.
No, not even Benue, in Plateau.
In Benue.
In Plateau, there's allegation that people were rented.
Cases,
they have to go on scoreboards to see Mr.
Let me tell you, the problems in Benue and Plateau,
the
problems in Benue and Plateau are similar. They share the heritage of mindless killings, by headsmen and all. They share. That was why the governor of Plateau had to quickly apologize, because his own people will punish him with their votes for what he said. He had to quickly apologize and he not only apologize to your top. To the people of the state, because intermarriage is common between people of Benue and
they were just not, okay. Lekon Shota, you are about making it up, rounding up your points.
Summary is that because of contention about the order of the timetable, I get the impression that even within the party there is doubt now, despite the 12 million votes that we say is waiting for the president. Because even now, the 12 million votes was always there, and the president had never been tested. He had never assumed office. He had never proven to us that he's an aloof president, or that he had health issues, or that he will act in such a way that it looks like even his 3 cardinal points that he contested on doesn't seem to be successfully executed. I'm talking about the security, anti-corruption, and the economy. Those 3 planks. Would people still give him a monolithic vote?
The way they gave him. Only time will tell. Let me take Ola. Ola is calling us from Sokoto. Thank you so much, Ola.
Yeah, good morning. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Ola. Go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you. I was talking about Benue, the voting in Benue. Now, I said that Buhari's cattle, about 270, are on his ranch or farm.
Ola, we're not talking about anybody's ranch or cattle. We're talking about the All Progressive Congress.
Benue people, don't want to vote
So let's, maybe you might want to call back. We are talking about the crisis within the APC. Emeka.
Yes, sir.
Emeka, now, there's this party, is like a new kid on the block. SDP. Another one, ADP.
SDP was 1992.
Yes, as in, but right now, they resuscitated it. They have a pro-tem national chairman, which is Chief Olufalaye. They've just chosen that one. And a lot of all these people. And I was told that the former vice president might be gravitating. I can't substantiate that, sure yet. But we've been seeing his hands, body, leg, and everything in the SDP. And people have been talking about SDP. And just saying that the gains, I mean, the loss of APC and PDP might be the benefit of SDP. Do you see that happening in 11 months?
It happened with APC now.
It happened with APC. More than 11 months.
It happened with
APC in 2013.
No, it happened with APC. Okay. Don't forget, was it not in 2003 when new parties, when INEC finally, I think it was a court's ruling that it was Supreme Court that said that anybody can register parties. You saw a number of parties came up, and they were able to snatch some seats here and there across the nation. So in politics, like they say, 24 hours is a long time. Anything can happen. And let me tell you, the mind of a politician is a very difficult thing to read, because his own is all about his interest. Is just all about his own. Is all about his interest. Where is he heading to? And don't be surprised that even within APC, there will be, there are alignments. People are talking. People are discussing. People are strategizing. So, like Jide said earlier, those governors who are trying to make it difficult for certain people to have prominent positions in APC, even in PDP, you have the same problem. Definitely, they are creating, they are helping to build the house of SDP. Don't forget what Dr. Chris Ngige said when he was in PDP, under Obasanjo. He said, those they recruited as night guards to guard the PDP secretariat had taken over the party. So, that was when the crisis was.
Metaphorically.
So now you look at it. Is that not what is happening in the APC now?
No, I've always
Is that not what's happening in the APC?
I've always said that there will be a third force, and the politicians.
I didn't believe it was going to spring
up. Politicians knew that there's not enough time left to start a new party. So what they've done now is to use a party that had always been there.
That has name recognition.
Now you are saying that they have about 30 senators with them, and maybe about 5 governors. So I've seen some people, I know some people will join the SDP anytime from now. And that's why,
National Assembly members.
Yes, a lot of National Assembly members will join them. And that's why I think that it makes sense for the party to rally around Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to resolve the APC crisis. They shouldn't begin to think that they are so confident, this and that, because they are in power. It is possible, just as I said last week, for Buhari to get those 12 million votes, because I know any day we'll get 12 million votes.
Or more than?
Yes, or more than that. He can get all of that and still not win the election. It's possible. Because
to get his regular votes,
you need
we
a
can
spread.
We can analyze how the president can lose the election. It's an easy thing to do. He can win his traditional states. Bauchi, Niger, he can win all of them, score up to 15 million votes, and still not win the election. It's possible.
And the number of people that have taken their PDC has increased.
So the thing is, the party has to work together. The ambition and the high-handedness of some governors has to be addressed. Except you want those people to leave. People like Nkuyi, they are grassroots politicians. They are very strong. They are very strong. So you still need them in your party. Don't chase them away. Even Sani is also good. I mean, it's popular with the downtrodden. The poor people. Yes.
He has always been a comrade.
Yes, you still need some people in the party. Don't let some governors out of sheer ambition and power greed chase people away. Try to hold your own party together.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Emeka Madunagu. Thank you for being part of this interesting edition of Journalist Hangouts. Lekon Shote, thank you for your contribution today. And the maestro in the house, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, Thank you.
Thank you.
Always.
Thank you for appropriately talking about where I come from.
Umuoke now in Ekiti South.
That's my adopted
South
hometown.
Senatorial District. And that's it on
And that
journalism.
Umuoke, you know that many people from Umuoke answer the name Otitoju.
Otitoju, we have to go, Jide.
The king of Umuoke is Otitoju.
And that's it on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on all our platforms showing on the screen. Catch us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now and see you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.